Well, oh, it must be doing a whole bunch of new stuff this time. But good morning, everybody. You're here with Candi and Athena for In Sound Health. We are on episode 4 now. We were just kind of chatting about Zoom has changed its outline, its look here a little bit. And so we were trying to figure some stuff out. So we're starting off with some giggles. Anyway, we will be talking today about holiday tips, de-stressors, and some of the things that we do that help us, because if it's helping us, it's maybe will help somebody else. So that's where we're going to go, and it's just going to be chat. And if take what you need, what resonates with you, and the rest, let it go. So do you want to start, Athena?
Yeah, well, I'll just say, first of all, here in the United States, this is the week of Thanksgiving. And while many people still celebrate, there are some that may not resonate with Thanksgiving. And, some of the things that have happened around Thanksgiving with colonization and even like the pain and suffering of some animals. So I just want to start out with just sending gratitude to all beings everywhere, whether you celebrate this holiday or not, but just really just taking a moment to increase our vibration and to really share our heart with all those who may have suffered in the present or in the past, and just honoring every single person and every single being and sending our love and blessings to all. So just take a moment and do that. If you're at a space to do that, just imagine that you're expanding your heart chakra and sending through the waves of energy to all beings, sending them love and gratitude, and really honoring this time of year for being able to gather with people, or maybe it's online, or maybe it's a phone call, and also really giving blessings to the food that we use to nourish our bodies, whether you're a meat eater or not, celebrating and honoring the animals and the plants that help us to nourish our bodies. So just take a moment to send that out through the heart waves. Just taking a breath and slowly coming back, and just reminding yourself, reminding all of us that this time is so beautiful, and that we get to gather in whatever shape or form, and that we have the power to bless. We have the power to bless our food. We have the power to bless all beings, and just to remind ourselves of that during the holiday season. And then gratitude, that energy of gratitude changes our frequency. It is one of the virtues. It really does help us to get more into alignment with our truth, and allows our heart field to expand. And when our heart field expands, then everybody that we come into contact with can feel that resonance. And so sometimes, we can all get into those funks, and maybe the holidays are a little bit more challenging for some. But in those moments, even if it's one small thing, like I'm grateful that I'm breathing today, or I'm grateful, like today I went out and I walked, even though I'm not feeling 100%, I kind of got the crud going on. I went and walked in nature, and each step I took, I was just like, I'm grateful that I'm walking. I'm grateful that I'm connecting to the earth. And that shifted kind of that stuck energy that I was feeling. I was feeling kind of in a funk, feeling a little stagnant, like my body's stiff, my nose is stuffy, and just getting out there and doing that really helped me to change my perspective and increase my vibration. And so I think all the tips that we're going to be sharing today is for that, is to help us to move from that stuck, stagnant, kind of lower vibration into more of a positive way of living. And it's okay to have those down days. We all have it. We don't want to bypass our shadows. We don't want to be shoving things down and not dealing with our problems. But in those moments where we need that boost, I think that these tips are really going to help.
Absolutely. Yeah, one of the things that I have written down is just to get outside. Yes, we live here in Iowa, and it's a little difficult sometimes to want to go out in the cold, but even if it's just 10 minutes, just get some fresh air, take some deeper breaths outside. Hopefully there's some sunshine. But yeah, just getting outside can really lift the spirit. Yeah, and if you're lucky enough to live somewhere warm, great. Bundle up if you're in Iowa with us. So yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about, well, what I can talk about is some of the wellness tips, because it's cold and flu season and I have 2 small kids. And so we're like just passing things back and forth. Well, that might not always be avoidable. You know, we can't always control what's coming in and out of our system sometimes, but there are like tips that we can use. And so something that I'm doing is I'm drinking thieves tea, or basically it's like clove essential oil, cinnamon bark essential oil, and lemon essential oil. And I put it in a drop each in a big thing of honey. And then I stir it all up and I put it in hot water. And that really helps to soothe. But also it's very like anti-inflammatory, it's antiseptic, it really helps to boost the immune system. And so thieves tea is something that I really, really enjoy using. And then I also diffuse essential oils a lot, especially when I'm not feeling good. So just to get that, clove is really great to kind of get the muck and yuck out of the air. Any of those little bugs, we like to kind of nix them. So diffusing is a great way of doing that. So what are some of the things, Candi, that you do when you're maybe feeling under the weather during the holidays?
Yeah, I was just going to kind of piggyback off of your thieves hot tea. If you don't have some of those items that she was saying with the essential oils, just hot water. Added a little squeeze of lemon or a little drop of honey just to hot water. This time of year, for most of us, it's a colder season. And so we want to keep our bodies warm and nourished in that way. So if you don't have some of those items, just the hot water with a little honey and lemon squeezed into it works just as well in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things that I like to do for myself, I have a list here, and I could probably go on and on because I'm all about making myself feel good, so that I can in turn make others feel good. But probably my biggest one is journaling. And I say this, if you're not a journaler, that's okay. But a lot of times at this time of the year, we're going to see family and friends more than we do any other time of the year. And things are crazy and hectic. And if you're like most people, families have issues, right? And sometimes it can be tense. So I always recommend to those of you that are struggling with a family conversation sometimes that needs to take place, but maybe the holidays isn't the appropriate place to do it. Always journal about it first. That way you are getting it out, you're expressing it, you're not holding it in, so that when you go to your family function, it's easier to be, you've already kind of expressed it a little bit, maybe not specifically to that person, but the feelings aren't weighing you down. And so, before you go to that family function, if you have, some tension going on, write it out, get it out before you go, so that it's not so heavy when you're there with some of those other family members that are, maybe difficult. So yeah, journal. Number one thing I do it daily. And something that if you're not sure about what to journal about, you're like, well, I just write about what I ate or whatever. I always start with what I'm grateful for. And maybe that's all I have for the day, is just that I'm grateful for fluffy socks today. It's colder, whatever it happens to be. But yeah, just, start with those things. Then you can get a little bit deeper if it allows. My other thing that saves me this time of year is breath work. My kids, I talk about my kids because my kids pick up on my little habits that I do. And my kids know when I'm feeling stressed by how I'm breathing now. And I just didn't even realize that they were paying attention to me so much. But I take deeper breaths and I will sigh them out and really extend that sigh. And gosh, it was probably a couple weeks ago that Roxy says to me, Mom, are you okay? And I said, yeah, why? And she says, well, because you sighed a lot longer. You do that when you need to take more time. And I said, you're right. Yeah, I did sigh, didn't I? I said, I didn't realize I had, but I was, doing a whole breath work because I was feeling it, but I just didn't realize that I was actually doing it when I was doing it. But yeah, deeper breaths, take those bigger, deeper belly breaths and hold it for just a couple seconds and then slowly sigh it out. And doing that, a handful of times really calms the nervous system.
Yeah,
And
I find myself doing that too, and my kids are picking up because Freya will just watch me. She does not have the point yet where she says anything, but she's just like, okay, mommy's taking a time out. And I do it like wherever I'm at. Like I was walking down the steps, I was like halfway down the steps, and I'm like, no, I just need a pause. I need to pause and just take this time and connect back with my breath. And that always brings me back to the body, which brings me back to the now moment. Because we can, as moms, with little ones, we are all over the place. And it feels like sometimes there's never a break. And then you add the holidays on top of it and extra family and extra things, extra events, holiday season, Christmas concerts, whatever's happening, it's like, how can I do this? And the simplest thing is just pause wherever you're at and make that sound. And I don't quite always do the sigh, but I do it real big until my whole like diaphragm and belly and the lungs are empty. And I'll do that a couple times, and it's like a quick reset. And sometimes I think that our society forgets how powerful our breath is. I mean, it's the first thing we came into the world with it. And we're going to leave this world with that exhale.
Yeah.
So remembering in between the life and death is this beautiful wave of breath.
Right. I always, I think as a society, we are so scheduled and in a rush so much of the time that we often don't even realize that we are not even breathing correctly. And when you start to be aware of your breath and you start using your breath, then you're like, oh, wow, you can feel it in your body. You can feel the differences. And you then also notice the mindset changes that come with it as well. But yeah, I just think that so many of us forget how to breathe. I mean, we do it voluntarily, but it's still relearning how to use our breath to calm ourselves.
And in the ancient ways, I'm still in this breath kick, but in the ancient ways, like our bodies, we used to do like this, I call it like the 7 breath, like 7-point breath, where you inhale fully for 7 seconds, you hold and you exhale. And it's just this beautiful, like belly, diaphragm, chest, diaphragm, belly. And it's like this, a lot of times we don't even realize we're not breathing in our belly. We're breathing shallow. Right. And it's like, what about the rest of the body?
Right.
And the other day I didn't have time to meditate. I didn't have time to do things. I was just going from one thing to the next. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to take some time. So I like to use mudras. And so I'll usually put like my middle finger and my thumb together. And if I don't have time, because that closes our central channel, it closes our meridian, the central meridian. So then I put my tongue right on the roof of my mouth behind my front teeth, and I just breathe. And I allow the belly and then the chest to expand, and then I allow the chest to fall and the belly to retract. And as I do that, it's just, I'm closing my circuit, I'm coming back, I'm filling my body with love and light. And I did it for maybe 3 minutes, and it was enough for me to be able to finish my full day of work.
Right. Right. Yeah. We're gonna move on from breath,
Right? Or we'll be here forever.
because I think I could talk about breathing for an hour at least.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the other things that I have on my list is baths and showers more frequently when you're feeling a little overwhelmed. It's cleansing, grounding, you get back into your body, and it feels good, a nice hot shower or bath this time of year. And I also incorporate oil. I don't use lotions, but that's a personal preference. There's all kinds of lotions out there that people can use, but I'm an oil girl. So I use some of my favorite oils, vitamin E oil and almond oil, and all over. Sometimes I'll warm it up. I'll use it on my hands, my feet, the entire body. So yeah, oils and baths and showers. And my other one is move. Whether that's yoga. I mean, I'm going to say yoga because that's my thing. But if it's not your thing, that's okay. But just move your body. Your body needs that. And walking, like, I'm not saying you have to exercise, but just walk, do some stretches. Some of my favorite that I know a lot of people, work 8 hours a day and or sitting in front of a computer or at a desk, or and some of my favorite stretch are just head, neck stretches from side to side, seated cat cows, where you inhale and exhale and round the spine. But probably my favorite to do sitting in a chair is just bend over and touch your toes and let everything just fall forward. Just let it go. Deep breath as you do it. And just feel like your hands sinking all the way to the floor. Like, I can just feel it right now, how good it feels. So some of those that you're doing, you can do while you're at work or sitting at a desk.
I love the heart openers. So like cactus pose while you're sitting, and
Yes.
just like stretching and opening up. So you can't see me very well, but basically both arms are in like a 90-degree angle. And then I just open up my chest. It's like a little mini back bend. And just think about lengthening the spine all the way to the crown, and then adding that little arch. And it just feels so good. It's going to open the front of the body, especially if you're used to rounding over and typing, or, being on the phone or writing. So that's a really great one. And then a gentle twist. Hand on the outside of the thigh, hand on the back of the chair, take a breath and sit tall, and just very gently twist. And anytime we're adding twists into our life, we're also detoxing, right?
Yeah.
It's like the internal organs are getting a massage anytime you do that. So it's going to boost your immune system as well and get things moving, right? Get things moving.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing I wanted to talk about that I like to do, and I have a mic on, so it might be loud, and I don't know, but basically if you find where your clavicles are, right, both clavicles, you're going to go to that little notch and just go a little bit below that notch. And that's actually your thymus. And we have a chakra there called the thymus, or the higher heart chakra. And this is incredible for boosting your immune system. This is amazing for helping with allergies, or it can be energizing harmonizing, and it also kind of like neutralizes any kind of negative energy, because we know that we are sensitive beings and we can feel energy around us, whether it's emotions of another person, if you're more empathic, or just the ability to feel energy as you walk into the room, which is a little bit more like the clairsentience, right? And so like tapping, just taking a nice deep breath in the nose, and then you're going to go out the mouth. And you'd probably do this like, maybe you want to do it for 30 seconds to a minute. Maybe you want to like count 15 times, but you're just going to tap that area. And I like to kind of tap with my 2 fingers, but you can do all 4 fingers, just gently tapping it. And again, this is also going to ease any kind of pain or like anxiety, stress, just letting it go and letting it flow with the breath. Okay. And so that's a really simple thing that you can do, like when you're at your desk, when you're on your lunch break, when you're just feeling the yuck and the muck, you can absolutely do that. Then I like to use essential oils. So I will use whatever oil I'm drawn to. If it's like a hot oil, I would dilute it, of course, with like an almond oil or a coconut oil, and rub that on and then tap it in. And you can even use intentions like, I am healthy, my body is strong, my immune system is operating well, like whatever it is, you can set those intentions and speak it into existence. Okay. So those are great. And if you just like feel the energy after doing that, it's like, oh yeah, I already feel things moving, like, oh, okay.
I do tapping as well. And a couple of my favorite spots, because I'm going to tell you where I tap. I am a jaw clencher. So I do that. I find myself doing it all the time. And you can tap your jaw. Just tap at the very base of the face on the jaw. You can even tap right on the chin. It's another one of my favorite places. And then right here on your cheekbones and go up around yes.
I love it. I love it.
Right. Yeah.
And that's great for like allergies, any kind of like cold. So something my grandma used to do, and she would very gently, she would massage around the auricle, right? Like the orbit or whatever. So all the way around and underneath, and then she'd go down my neck and kind of flush it out.
Yeah.
So those are great tips just to get things moving. And there's a lot of other ways that you can do tapping. Like there's, what is it called? I think it's just called the tapping solution, which, you do your intentions, you're here, above the eye, on the side of the eye, below the eye, under the nose, on the chin, sternum, side of body. So you can look into that further if that's interesting. But basically what we're doing is we're activating our meridian system, which is these energetic circuits that we can't see, but they are like pathways, right, for the energy to move from organ to organ. And so we're basically reprogramming them. We're flushing out what's no longer needed, detoxing, and then we're reprogramming them to operate in wellness, right?
Right. Yeah. Another thing that I have on my list is, with this time of year and the holidays, and I know everybody not everybody decorates. I obviously decorate. You can see my house. It's one of my favorite things to do. And just having a space that you can go to that is yours and feels good to you is calming and relaxing. Maybe you're at work all day and you have after work functions and family functions, and everything is just so busy. Just to be able to come home and have a space for you just to decompress and feel comfortable can really boost your mood. It does mine anyway. And then my other one is listen to music, have some fun in your space, dance around, play games, be goofy. It doesn't have to be serious all the time. All the time, all these scheduled things, and we do this and we do that. You don't have to do Oh, I'm going to get onto that kick. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. That's my new life motto, I think. Yeah, I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. But yeah, music, have some fun, just and be realistic. Like really be realistic about what the holidays are supposed to be. You don't have to spend a lot of money and you don't have to plan a lot of things to be grateful and enjoy your family. You just being together is what the holiday is actually about. Oh boy. I will start to cry or something here now.
But it's true though. It is true, you know, that sometimes that we can forget, or we can get stuck in the, you know, keeping up with the Joneses and all of that kind of energy. And it's about like what's really important for you. And if we can just pause from our, you know, hustle and bustle of the day and tune into our heart and say, what is my values? What are my values? What's really important to me?
Right.
And when we do that, we start to, again, change our perspective in how we're operating our life. And we can start to make those small and subtle changes. One of my friends, Stephanie, said once to me, she's like, all we have to do is 1% better, 1% more, 1% different, 1% towards that XYZ goal. And over time, all those small steps add up. And I think over the holidays too, sometimes we just want it all done. We want to get it done. We don't have to worry about it, but just take one small step and know that that's enough.
Yes.
Right.
And sometimes I feel like we get so caught up with all the stuff we think is important and it's not, like cleaning your house. I used to like clean for days before, and you know what? It just is what it is. It's gonna be that. And then I would spend the days after cleaning as well, because I'd have so many people at my house. And yeah, nobody's looking at my grout in my bathroom. So, you know, just know what is really important, because that's not it.
Yeah. And I have a little story here too. Like I started to redo my kitchen floor. Like I'm, you know, like now I'm a single parent and I want to make my house more for me. And the tile was really old. So I started tearing it all apart. And then I started to lay, and then I like ran out of boxes. And then there was a part of me that's like, oh my God, my flooring's not done. I'm going to have people over. What's my family going to think? And then I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. My floor is half done. I'll just tell them to make sure not to step on the parts that aren't done. And I have to be okay with that because I don't have the capacity to finish right now. I have other things that are on my plate. And so I had to go like, you know what? It's just going to have to be where it is. I'll make sure the dishes are done. I'm making sure that the tables are cleaned off and that there's not toys everywhere. But other than that, it's like, it's going to be okay. And in the past, I used to be the same way. I'd stress out. And then the whole time that it was Thanksgiving, it was like, I was so exhausted. I couldn't even be with family. I was like, I'm done. I've been working 3 days to get to this point, and then I don't have the energy or the capacity to be.
Yeah. You just couldn't enjoy. Yeah. You couldn't enjoy because you were so caught up in the stress of it that, and it's physically disabling sometimes, or you just collapse with exhaustion, because it just takes its toll.
So I do have one more thing that I want to bring up, just because I work a lot with energetics. And so something just to remember during the holiday seasons, especially if you are empathic, or, you know, again, you can feel the energies if you're sensitive, just reminding yourself to, again, get into that space of gratitude where you are expanding your heart field. And it's almost like a shield, right? The heart shield is a protective bubble that you can place around yourself. Just literally, you can imagine it, you can feel it, you can breathe it out around you. Think about 3 feet around you in all directions with a beautiful, like golden light. and just set the intentions that you're not here to absorb anyone else's energies, right? And in those moments that you are feeling like, oh my gosh, Aunt Betsy's here, I can feel all of her negativity, like, you have to remember that you are a sovereign creator and that you are in control of your energy field. And so you can notice that, but then you can reset yourself and discharge that energy by either, shaking it out, wiping your hands, stomping your feet, going outside in nature, doing some breath work, like those simple things, and setting the intention that I'm clearing my energy of any lower vibrational energy that does not serve my highest and best good. I release all energy that is not mine. And that is so powerful. And you will be amazed the more that you do it, the more that you feel different. And you can see when it's someone else's, or feel when it's someone else's energy coming at you. And you're going to be like, no, I am not taking that on today.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's a really beautiful practice for this time of year.
And if you find yourself in a family function and you can start to feel it, just take a step back, walk in another room, go to the, I'm a bathroom person. I go into the bathroom, I turn the water on, I run my hands under the water, and I just take some deeper breaths. And I know I've said this to myself, it's not my shit. It's not my shit. And just let it go. And I just cleanse myself, thinking about releasing whatever is starting to attach. And yeah, go outside. Just walk away, take your moments, take your breaths, and just yeah, let go of their shit. So,
and if you do struggle with, like, sometimes we can even get into that, like, I'm gonna fix them. I'm gonna fix them. I'm gonna be the savior. I'm gonna, like, sacrifice my
yeah.
own energy, like the martyr energy. So there's a lot of other layers that could be there. So just really honoring, like, where are you at? Are you trying to overstep your place? Are you trying to, sometimes we like to get into other people's business, like,
Yeah.
so just taking responsibility for your actions. Where are you at? Where are your intentions? And are you able to put it down and walk away? And like Candi said, release it, because it's not your shit. We're not here to fix and save everyone. We're here to honor ourselves and really work within our own energy system and field. And when we do that, again, it always ripples out into the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I know.
Do you feel complete?
I do. I feel good. I'm ready.
Bring on the holidays.
Yes.
Oh, well, great. So yeah, I think that feels like we wrapped it up. We talked about gratitude and blessings, the food, and honoring all people, all beings. We talked about some stress relief tips, protection of energy, some stretches, worked about tapping, going outside, movement, all those things. And of course, if you guys need more guidance, or you want to come to a class, or you want to try some sound healing, then please reach out to Candi and I. We are experts in this field. We live this every single day, and we are here to guide other people to really honoring themselves and allowing their truth and their radiance to shine and to live in sound health. So we thank you all for being here with us. And if you have questions or comments, go ahead and post them below this video. And we hope that you have a beautiful, beautiful holiday season.
Happy holidays.
Bye.